Hi there, just thought I'd do a quick video on my Seiko SKX007. I purchased this watch through Creation Watches, which I found on the internet. They were, it was super quick to deliver it. I think it was about £170 I paid for this. Now I went for the J version. There's a J and a K version. The difference between the two is the K version is Korean, I believe, or made in Korea, and the J version is made in Japan. Now, there's a couple of differences on the dial. I believe this one has it says down here at the bottom 21 joules, where that doesn't say that on the K version. When I purchased this watch, I purchased it on the rubber strap, because I knew that I was going to change the strap out at a later date anyway. I didn't really want the rubber strap. They're really stiff rubber. They're not particularly comfortable. So I decided to buy it and get it at a cheaper price, to buy it on the rubber strap. So I bought it on the rubber strap, and I got it back. And then once I received the watch, I then purchased this SKX style strap from Strap Code, which is a company that makes straps that work with Seiko watches. Now, obviously this is the 007. There's lots of other brands out there of Seiko. Seiko don't make the best straps. I've got another watch which I'm going to do a video of at a later date, which has got a similar strap to this, but it's the original Seiko strap. Now, the one thing I will say is it is really comfortable strap, but the build quality is not great. Whereas the build quality on this strap is far beyond what Seiko are offering, and you can pick one of these straps up for £60 or £70 delivered, and it's solid end links. All the center links are all solid, whereas on the Seiko original strap, all the center links are all hollow. On this one, you get a milled clasp. And on the Seiko one, this is all pressed metal. It's not fantastic, to be honest with you. But this is obviously one that I've modified. This watch, I don't particularly. Seiko watches this style are not expensive, but I still believe that Seiko should put sapphire crystal on their watches. They don't put sapphire crystal on certainly not on the lower end ones, and on a lot of the higher end ones. I mean, you can spend £1,000, £1,500 on a Seiko Marine Master, and it still comes with Hardlex crystal, and Hardlex crystal does scratch. I mean, I've had Seiko 5s in the past and scratched them within 3 weeks of wearing them, and then once it's scratched, you're a bit fed up with it, and unless you can replace the crystal yourself, which at the time I did, and I ended up just not wearing the watch, and I ended up giving it away. I went on to DWL Watches, I believe they're called, which is another Japan-based company, and ordered. Well, it wasn't really a case of ordering exactly what I wanted. I could have probably ordered a flat crystal, but I think this is what they had left. I was struggling to find anything, so I ended up getting a double domed sapphire crystal. And I mean, and again, my hand was forced when I purchased this, because they had advertised blue anti-reflective coating, and I think it might have been mauve anti-reflective coating that they put on the crystals, or clear. Now, when I went through them, the only one they had left was the clear, and I'm really glad that I got the clear, because it absolutely pops. It really does. It makes the face of the watch, magnifies it, and makes all the indices and the hands and everything all really sharp, even better than they did before. Now I ordered this, as say, from DLW Watches, and I ordered the sapphire, and then another link popped up with it, and it said you can order a ceramic bezel with this, and they gave various different ceramic bezels that would work with it. Now, this ceramic bezel will only work with this domed sapphire, because of the dome. You do get this little ridge just round the edge here, and this insert, this ceramic insert, would not work with a flat crystal, or with a crystal that had a ridge that stood up. The crystal itself was £27, and the ceramic bezel was also about £27. Delivered, say, got here in a week. Went on to eBay and purchased a really cheap crystal press, which was like a tenner, I think, and that came through. I mean, there are various different ones which all look very similar on there. The one I got, I think, probably was the cheapest of the cheap. In hindsight, I might have spent a little bit more money than a tenner, and bought one that was slightly better than the one I got, but it did do the job. And I had no clue how to do this, so I did like everybody else did, watched a few YouTube videos, but everybody is doing these. I couldn't find many doing them in the UK. There was lots of people doing them in the States, and basically what you have to do is you buy, again, I bought a very inexpensive watch repair kit. I think it was about £25, and it had the tool to take the back off, and various different size screwdrivers and pins and this and the other, and you whip the back off. Once you get the back off, there's like a little button inside, and if you watch a YouTube video of somebody doing this, I mean, when I did it, it was quite a nerve-wracking thing for me to do, so I didn't video it because it would have been hard enough doing it without videoing it. But anyway, you press the little button and you unscrew the crown, pop it out, the movement drops out. You press the crystal presses out from the inside, so you just turn it over. Now, the one thing I did notice, which I did do, and this was really saved me a load of time and grief, is I watched somebody replace the crystal, but they took the bezel off, right? So they actually pop this bezel off, and you can get a knife and shove it in the edge here, like a blunt knife, and prise it, and it will pop off. But then after watching some other videos, I noticed when you've got the original watch, you don't need to take the bezel off to take the glass out, the original glass. So I turned it over, put it in the crystal press, good hard push, and it just popped straight out, leaving the bezel intact. Once the glass is out, you can then slip like a sharp blade underneath the edge of the aluminium insert that comes with the SKX off the shelf, and you just run it, because they are glued in, and you run it around the inside edge, and you take it out. So I did that. That came out all right. Then I got some spirits and cleaned up all the glue that was left on it. I had a good look on the internet about buying. In America, they sell these like 3M, I think they are, rings that you can just put inside, and then you can stick your bezel insert into that. But did I want to order 10 of those from America when really I only really need one? Everywhere else didn't seem to give great deal of information about what to stick it in with. And in the end, I popped the new glass in, the new sapphire in, which is basically the reverse of taking it out. You put it in the crystal press. I put a piece of cloth over the top and squished it, and you just give it a good few hard pushes, and then you look around the edge just to check whether it's seated well. I mean, this was a brand new watch when I did it, so I was assuming that all the gaskets and everything would be really in good condition, and I had a look just to check that the gaskets inside weren't crooked or they hadn't come out when I popped the crystal out before. So anyway, I pushed that in, no sweat. Then I actually got some contact adhesive, Evo stick contact adhesive, but I got like the red one they do. I think they do like a red and a green, the one I used was one that when it sets hard, it is waterproof, and then I smeared it around the edge of the bezel, smeared it also around the edge of the ceramic insert, and I left it for 10 minutes so it went touch dry. and then I popped it in, and then I just pushed it in. The only thing I did find is that I got little bits of glue came up around the edge, but the thing with that is you can, as time goes by, I mean, it's only like a week or so, they just flake off. And then I have no means of checking this for pressure testing it, so to speak, because I don't have a pressure tester. So I put it in a bowl of water and to see what would happen, and I couldn't see any bubbles or anything coming up out of it. I've since been swimming a number of times, no problems whatsoever, and actually really, in my opinion, has really brought this watch on leaps and bounds from what it was. Yes, it's made it, having the bezel which has got a slight slope to it, whereas the original is perfectly flat. It does give it a little bit more height, but I've got really quite big wrists, so it's not an issue for me. This is quite a weighty watch. It feels chunky. It's a real workhorse. You can sort of bash these about, and they really do take a beating. But say, fantastic watch. I mean, if you start totting up what it costs, I mean, 160, 170 pounds for, let's call it 170 pounds for the watch on the rubber strap, then 60 pounds for the on this to buy the strap from Strap Code, so you're up to 230, and then another 60 pounds for the ceramic bezel and the sapphire crystal. So again, say you're talking about 290 pounds, under 300 pounds, and you've got a watch which is absolutely fantastic watch, which looks a lot more expensive than that, and it's just a pleasure to wear, really. I get a lot of comments of it. People say, "Oh, that's smart," and I say it's really good watch. I would highly recommend getting one. I say the only thing I would say with Creation watches is I purchased from them. My watch got stopped by DHL at customs, and I did have to pay another £27. So that would, in effect, that has taken it over the £300 mark. The Creation watches didn't charge for delivery, and I still got the watch in just over a week. Yes, it was a bit annoying. I had to pay the £27. But not every watch gets stopped, or not every item gets stopped. You pay your money, you take your chance. So that was slightly annoying, but I got it, paid it. It's all good, and there you go. So I'm hoping to do some more videos in the future. I've got a few watches now. I've sold a couple, so my watch collection is quite down now. But I've also got another watch I've ordered from Jeanneau. And if it ever arrives, I will do a review on that. It's now 27 days since I've ordered it, and their delivery is exceedingly slow. It does say this on their website. I now found out afterwards. I didn't think to look. I did think to ask. I didn't read the email they sent me properly, saying it was 15 to 25 days to deliver it. And so it's 27 days now, and it still hasn't arrived. When that does arrive, I should be doing a review on that, plus a review on some of the other pieces I've got. Thanks for listening, and see you in there.